Hey now, good morning and happy Monday, PAs, to staff, clients, and friends. Film Scoring Monday, although now it's Television Scoring Monday. It's not always going to be television. We're just branching out because we did Stranger Things last week, and we're just going to look at some TV themes, especially, more current ones, up to date, just to see what the composers are writing, see what that sounds like, to see if we can do any good work, music supervision, coming up with the different themes. So you guys did a great job for Stranger Things. So it won't be this forever. It might be. I don't know. We'll just see how much fun we have, with movies and TV shows, and most importantly, the music, right, that we hear in those things. Great job on Stranger Things. So that was a lot of fun. We're going to look at a show that's very current and relevant. Today, we're going to look at Game of Thrones.
Oh, my sweet summer child, what do you know about fear? Thousands of years ago, there came a night that lasted a generation. In that darkness, the White Walkers came for the first time. They swept through cities and kingdoms, riding their dead horses, hunting with their packs of pale spiders.
I saw what I saw. I saw the White Walkers.
You understand why I did it?
John said he was a deserter.
The man who passes the sentence should swing the sword.
17 years ago, you rode off with Robert Baratheon. You came back a year later with another woman's son.
Lord Eddard Stark, I would name you the Hand of the King. There's a war coming, Ned. I don't know when, I don't know who we'll be fighting, but it's coming.
I have no choice.
That's what men always say when honor calls. That's what you tell your families, tell yourselves. You do have a choice. And you've made it.
Soon you will cross the narrow sea and take back your father's throne.
I want to go home.
We go home with an army.
You're just a soldier, aren't you? Take your orders and you carry on.
I was also trained to kill my enemies, Your Grace.
As was I.
Does family mean nothing to you?
These people will do anything, and that is why we have to stop them.
I've got 7 kingdoms to rule! 1 king, 7 kingdoms! Do you think honor keeps them in line? Do you think it's honor that's keeping the peace? It's fear! Fear and blood!
The Targaryen girl convinces her horse lord husband to invade. The Dothraki horde crosses the narrow sea. We won't be able to stop them.
When you play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die. There is no middle ground.
I call upon you to seize him and help me return him to Winterfell to await the king's justice.
We've come to a dangerous place. We cannot fight a war amongst ourselves.
So I'll probably show trailers for when we do TV shows. So sorry if it's so long. I'm not trying to take up class time. Just trying to give you guys a feel of the show, and including me, because I haven't never seen Game of Thrones. So you're like, well, why are we doing a class on it? But I've studied the theme song, and we'll talk about the music of it. So that's why I'm here. Also, I mean, you need 70 hours, over 70 hours to watch all of these 8 seasons. Because there's 8 seasons of it, so that's a long time. And so somebody did the math without any breaks. That's about 3 days. 3 days total. So this is an epic show. American fantasy drama. We looked at fantasy supernatural with Stranger Things, and based on the novels by George R.R. Martin. And so this comes out in 2011, so it's been around for a long time. It's basically about 9 big families, noble families, and they kind of fight for control over their land. And then an enemy comes in. That's in a nutshell what it's about. But we're here mostly for the music. So Ramin Djawadi, composer. Ramin Djawadi, Iranian and German film composer, and then he's won a bunch of awards, Grammy Awards for Game of Thrones. Went to Berklee School of Music in Boston, and then went for graduate school, went work with, or study with Hans Zimmer and work at his studio, Remote Control Studios, in West LA. So this we'll take a few different listens at the kind of music and to see what it sounds like. Why don't we just take a look at the opening credits and listen to the music, see the graphics, see what we come up with, and then we'll talk about the music. What main instrument is he using in the beginning? Of course it builds up because you have to have tension building up to that, last title of the director. Basically cello, right? And we'll see that. So I was reading that they didn't want any flutes or piano because that could sound like a Renaissance fair, and I could see that. Flutes, tambourines, that could be a little bit. This is a pretty epic, dark, epic story, about a journey, right? And the music sounds like it's on a journey, very imaginative. So that's the orchestration. So we have to think of that the cello is very beautiful, dark, great range on the cello, of course. You can go very high and also very, very low. One of my favorite instruments. There's so much color in that instrument. Why don't we take a look at, this seems a little redundant, but let's erase your mind for a second, and then let's take a look at the credits, at the opening, credits with no soundtrack. So the director, the writer-director, the producer gives this to you. Here you go. Come up with some music for it. So okay, so then you think, okay, well, let's go back to the reference. Of course, the composer didn't have a reference. He came up with an original score. But if we need to help ourselves, let's go back to the reference and see what was going on. We know that he used cello. And if as we're hearing the theme right now, if we could just think, there's not a lot of chords going on. There's a lot of tension and heavy orchestration going on, and that's what makes it interesting. Because if we strip it down, and we did this with Stranger Things with the piano, and I want to do that again here. Let's listen to this video of the guy playing it on piano, so we can hear the melody, and then we'll talk about that. It's a very simple melody, right? And there's only 3 chords. There's a bridge later in the theme song, but let's just take it very easy. Just 3 chords. If we look at music theory-wise, C minor, G minor, B flat, back to C minor. It's just 3 chords, that's it. Little bridge later on. Fast waltz or 6/8 time signature. There's a rhythmic motif, right? There's the 8th and 2/16 notes. So there's that. It doesn't sound as good on just a piano, right? It could sound a little bit monotonous. And we've learned that with Stranger Things. When you strip it down on the piano, and this is just, I'm not trying to devalue the composition. Just trying to get you to think about, well, yeah, it's solo piano doesn't sound as good. So what do you need? So you need orchestration. We talked about that term orchestration a lot. Rimsky-Korsakov, right? It goes back to that. Great composers that would color the orchestra, Ravel, all that kind of stuff. This doesn't sound like Ravel, but I mean, that's the evolution of scoring, of orchestrating for the orchestra. So you get a big sound, and so that big sound can be. Let's take a look at this being performed live, because this is a big theme song, and the composer always tours with this. So let's watch the orchestra play the theme. So it doesn't sound anything like the piano thing that we heard, but stripped down, pared down on the piano, that's basically musically what's going on. We just like to think of musically, well, what is happening? That's how I like to think of it. And then it's, oh, okay. Then when you see that, what we just saw, it's big and epic and massive. But I like to pare it down just to see what elements are going on to make it sound that big and epic. So, I mean, we already looked at the scene without the music, so I won't show that again. But I do want you to come up with something that sounds like a journey, right? Sounds like a journey, an epic fantasy journey. This is not electronic, so this will not be like Stranger Things. Stranger Things, we had an electronic score, synthesizers and all that stuff. This, we've looked at big epic scores, film scores, so this is gonna be an epic TV show. This is longer than a film, this is 70 hours. So, it's got to encapsulate all of that. So give me some ideas, and we'll see new opening title credits, which will be a lot of fun. Okay, all right. So get me some ideas, and we'll see the results for Friday. Have a great rest of the day. See you tomorrow. Bye.